Hey y'all, join us this time while we go to Chinatown, Little Italy, and Haight Ashbury District in the final leg of our journey in San Francisco before we head down to San Diego. Check out the snow. Hey y'all, on Saturday we decided to head to downtown San Francisco. We knew we wanted to go to Chinatown and we were going to go to Little Italy and have dinner. We also had tickets to a show called Beach Blanket Babylon. That show has been running for over 45 years and is going to be closing its doors in January 2020, so I knew we had to go. I've seen it before, but Lola hasn't, and we got the tickets. Unfortunately, we were separated during the show, but we still had a great time anyway. We knew that we couldn't take Penelope with us into downtown for a full day and go to dinner and do all the things that we wanted to do, so we found an app called Rover. We've used it one time before here in Colorado, but it was a little scary using it in an area we didn't really know very many people. We found a lady and her young daughter that wanted to keep Penelope for a day and a half, and it really worked out really well. We dropped her off and we were off. We headed into the city and we were heading towards Oracle Park Giant Stadium because there's a large RV lot there. In fact, on the internet it says it's the only RV lot in San Francisco that you can park your RV at. I know that you can park your RV on side streets and things as long as you're a certain distance from the stop sign. But just trying to find parking in San Francisco, much less drive, was very difficult. Heading into the city, we turned on our navigation system and we had our RV. We didn't have a towed vehicle like a lot of people do. We started heading in and the GPS would tell us turn left here and the sign would say no left. We'd go to the next place and say turn left here. We kept going all the way down till we got onto the road that we needed to be on to get to Oracle Park. We finally found the RV lot, and guess what? There was a Dodgers Giants game going on and the entire lot was full. So we pulled in hoping to find a spot. We looked around and there wasn't too much, and we talked to one of the attendants and she said, boy, I don't know how we're going to get you in here. And she said, wait a second, there is a tailgating spot that's not being used today and we'll back you into that. So they backed us into that and we actually only had to pay $40. So by this time we were starving. I needed to stop by somewhere and have something to eat. Lola gets hangry sometimes. I need a beer or two sometimes. So it worked out well. We picked a place right outside of the stadium and really enjoyed the lunch. We downloaded the Muni Mobile app on our phones and bought a regional day pass ticket that will allow us to go anywhere in San Francisco for the day. We hopped onto the bus and we headed to Chinatown. We of course didn't know which stop to get off on, but we picked one close to Chinatown and wandered around a little bit until we found it. When we finally went into Chinatown, we enjoyed the atmosphere and we knew it was time to eat again. Turns out this entire day, we ate constantly the entire day. As you'll see, we stopped by a sushi place and really enjoyed that. I will. Well, eat it all then. Put some soy sauce. Gonna watch you. Hope you like it. What did you get here? You don't know what it is, but it looks good.
It's crab or something.
After spending a little bit more time in Chinatown shopping and going into a few places, we hopped back on the bus and got to Little Italy. We wandered up on a bakery. We looked in the window and saw the pastries and we knew, uh-oh, we're gonna have to eat again. So we headed in. We got some pastries and I got a macchiato and we just relaxed for a few minutes. We knew we wanted to go look for a restaurant later that night, so we decided to head out to look for restaurants and look over the menus, and we didn't have reservations, but we figured, hey, we're gonna find something. As you can see here, we found a place called Sotomayor. So as we were looking into the restaurant, we could smell the food and the atmosphere and we were ready to go. We knew that we weren't gonna get a table, but they brought us back by the kitchen area and where the cooks were cooking. There was a long bar and we were able to sit there and we watched them prepare the food, and that really helped us narrow down our choice. We chose bay scallops and pasta. It was amazing and we had a great meal. So after we finished our meal, we were only 2 blocks away from the show. So we headed up to the show and we were a little bit early. People were starting to form in a line there, but we decided to go into a bar and have a cocktail. Lola had a great old-fashioned made with Guinness reduction. She was very impressed with it. I had an IPA. We sat there and waited for a few minutes, and then we got in line and waited for the show. While we were waiting in line, we met a lot of interesting people, and we were glad we got into line because once the doors opened an hour before the show, the area I was sitting in was general admission, so I got a fairly decent seat right in the middle. Lola was very close to the stage, but she was on the side and had assigned seating, so she didn't have to get in line immediately like I did. But we went ahead and did that, and we were glad we did. The show was amazing. I laughed solidly for 2 hours. So after the show, it was probably 10:30 or so. We had to make it back to Lagniappe, but first we had to get to Lagniappe. So we had to find the correct line to make it back down to Oracle Park. And we made it back down there, and we had to walk through a dark area that was a little bit dimly lit and a few people that looked a little shady. I was a little worried, but everything went well. So as we approached the RV, I was kind of worried, and I had heard that San Francisco had a reputation for a lot of car break-ins and a lot of RV break-ins. I was very much relieved to find out that we did not have a break-in. So we got into our vehicle and headed home through the city. Here's some of the footage of us driving home. By this time, we could tell we weren't going to be home until at least 1:30, and we knew the next day was going to be wrecked. We didn't have to pick up Penelope till 5 o'clock the next day, so we were really psyched about that. We got home and just slept. Slept till probably 10 or 11, which is uncharacteristic of us. We're usually up pretty early. So as we woke up the next day, we knew we had a relaxed day. We had a plan though. We decided that we were going to go get gas at some point. We were going to go to Laganita's Brewery and check that place out. Since it was right there in Petaluma, I've always wanted to go there. And then we were going to go pick up Penelope and just call it a day. So we headed to the gas station. I filled up the tank, and as I was pulling out, I clipped the back of our bike carrier as I was turning, and it bent the entire carrier. Probably about a half a foot or more, and now we have a bent bike carrier. Okay, let's look at how jacked up the back of this is after me hitting the pole at a Valero station. It's pretty jacked up. I don't know if you can see, but you can totally see. I mean, it looks not as bad as it looks. It's pretty jacked up though. You should not be able to see the left side, the right side of this container. And then look at this. We headed over next to Laganita's Brewery. As you can see here, we pulled up and there was like a keg man sitting out front, and you could see the Laganita's Brewery transportation and their 18-wheelers loading up some of the beer. And they had a gigantic courtyard area, a beer garden, if you will, out front. We walked in, really enjoyed looking around the place. We ordered some taster samples of beer and just enjoyed the complex there. It was a really cool thing that we did. Next, we went to pick up Penelope. She had so much fun that she didn't do her normal meltdown. Every time we show up, she acts like she hasn't seen us for 12 years. And she goes crazy and starts squealing and, almost like, I've missed you. But we showed up and she's like, hey, what's up? I've been having fun. And I believe the girl's name that she stayed with was Sophia, and she did an amazing job because Penelope was kind of like, hey, I had a great time. Where you guys been? So we got back to the campsite and we got a text from Lane, who is her nephew of her oldest brother. He happened to be in the area for work and said, hey, I'd love to come by and visit. So she hasn't seen Lane in probably 5 or more years, probably longer than that. And he showed up and hung out with us at our RV. So an amazing Sunday day where we didn't do a ton of stuff, but we really had a great time. Thank you, Lane, for coming to visit us. So Monday morning, it was time to head towards San Diego. On the way into San Francisco, we had driven around some, and we had gone through the Haight Ashbury District area and Golden Gate Park, and briefly got a glimpse of the area, and we knew that that might be a place we wanted to come back and visit. So we decided to park our RV in Golden Gate Park, drive our bikes into Haight Ashbury District and just do some shopping, hang out a little bit, check out the area, and then head out. Penelope was just excited that she got to go. So I put her on the side in our little carrier, put her over my shoulder, and got onto the bikes, and we enjoyed driving through Golden Gate Park on our bikes. We wandered up on the Haight Ashbury District area and drove our bikes all the way through that and had lunch, had a couple of beers, went into a record store, did a little bit of shopping, and just enjoyed the area. We saw a record store called Amoeba Records, which is very famous. It sells vinyl and CDs and things that you can't find anywhere. And Lola probably spent at least an hour and a half to 2 hours in that store. I got a little bit tired after about a half an hour of walking Penelope around the store. It was really cool that they let us come in with the dog, and it was neat. But they had everything. I wish I'd gotten better shots inside the store, but it was really neat. In the middle of it, I decided to go have a beer at a place called Hobson's Place, or Hobson's Choice, I think it is. And we ate at a place called Magnolia Brewery. We had some amazing food there, some fried green tomatoes. We had some really unique food and great beer. After lunch, we walked around and shopped some more, and then grabbed our bikes and headed back to the RV and loaded them up and headed towards San Diego.